And second game is going to be played on Tundra. And it's going to be a bit of a switch of gods, obviously, because of the rules of the tournament. And laior will be switching from Isis into Loki. Well, that's quite a different civilization right there for him. Whereas PokerStar is switching from Zeus into Set. Set is obviously a pretty good civilization for this map. For Tundra, quite a lot of animals and whatnot, but Loki could be pretty strong as well, as obviously he is damn good god, and especially on aggressive maps like this. So, let's start with the game. We are yet again looking at laior at the very beginning, at the bottom, who is having a pretty nice hunt, obviously, right next to his TC, and it's very close to it, especially looking at this, he might actually be able to gather from it without the Ox card, so he might be able to save an Ox card for the gold in here. So let's see about that. And well, More Giant, I'm telling you for the third time, I'm making a coverage of a tournament, so I'm going to be streaming as many games as possible from it. So yeah, even games like these, because these are interesting names that players know, and well, people are interested in not just expert play, and in multiple players and basically multiple play styles, and see how other players play the gods that they choose. So let's return back to the game in here, and let's look at the scout in here. On the right side, laior is discovering extra hunt together with a relic as well, which is cheaper archer cost, and roll centaur. Well, that could definitely help him, because of course for Loki that is something that will be useful for him because of Forseti in the next age. Otherwise, behind this base, not much interesting, just interesting potentially tree line. As obviously, once you have something that is secure for him, it could allow you to survive longer if you are under some kind of pressure. And he might be, because obviously Set is usually a pretty aggressive god, and this will be kind of interesting to see who decides to be more aggressive of these two players. On the left, a lot of a gold, but not really covered by anything, so it's not really anybody's. You could be thinking that it's laior's, but really it's just on the left part of the map, so there's not anything close by, and well, definitely will be up for the grabs for any of the players. You can already see that PokerStar is converting some of the animals in here. With the Battle of Wall hit points, that could definitely help him quite a lot if he's under pressure, or even for his opponent. So let's see if somebody picks it up and goes for a bit of a defense. I wouldn't be expecting it. And looking at the position of the TCs, those two are pretty much safe for both of them. So there's going to be a bit of a battle for the front ones. And they seem to be slightly worse position for PokerStar, because this is basically the middle of the map. Whereas on the right, laior is well, kinda closer to his team base, or rather to his home base, and he's also having quite a lot of resources in here. So I would be thinking he will be much more interested in keeping it safe than his opponent PokerStar for the position in here right next to his. He will be advancing to the next stage pretty soon, as temple is already being dropped for PokerStar, whereas for his opponent is being dropped just now, and he will be a bit slower than him. I don't really know what to say more, Giant. If you don't like the game, just don't watch. It's as easy as that, and this is a tournament game. This is a tournament game from the Fall of the Titans tournament, so I'm not exactly sure what's your point in here. And yeah, for the fourth time, I'm going to repeat it for you. I'm going to make a coverage, rather I'm making a coverage of the tournament, and since there's still quite a lot of games left, I'm going to be casting them, and they are just games for my YouTube, but I kind of figured why not just go for live streaming when I'm going to be spending the time anyway, so yeah, why not? At any rate, we should be advancing into next ages pretty soon, so let's switch into laior, who is going for advance sometime soon. Right now clicking into Forseti, obviously. And let's have a look at the spire, which is very nicely placed, as it's on the gold willies, but at the same time, it's usually better to place the spy on wood willies, or other food willies, because they are less safe than their gold counterparts, as obviously Eggies, all of them gathered from this gold mine for the majority of the game, and the early raiding is much more powerful on the hunt. Now switching into PokerStar, who will be quite faster than him, you are probably going to be seeing some kind of shifting and shenanigans just about now. PokerStar trying to find his victims right now. Let's just put on the fog of war to see what he sees, and he should be seeing exactly this dead elk, and he will be moving with the shifting sands in here. Okay, But it seems like that blue is actually running away, so as he's not really stupid. But he might be a bit surprised on the top side, and that's a bit late, yeah. But he at least forced PokerStar to go for, yeah, for the vision here, and he actually switched into full-on attack and not really switching his opponent's villies into his own base. So that's a bit of a surprise in here, and he has killed one villager, which is definitely not enough, and I'm kind of thinking that it wasn't really all that powerful as he would have hoped. So let's see if laior can take advantage of this. I don't really think this was a very good shift in sense in here, as he didn't really do all that much of a damage, considering that there's quite a lot of hunt on the left, and also still in the middle in here, that could be very easily gathered from him. And looking how laior is going to be having quite a decent amount of heresies very soon, he will be in a position to defend it quite nicely, without any kind of chance for PokerStar to do anything about that. He's at least going for barracks, of course, as he will be continuing with the classical aggression. Whereas laior is still at just one temple, which is slightly curious, because usually you see Loki is going for two temples very soon, which is not happening in here, and he will be maybe switching into some kind of different unit. So let's wait for that, and what's that going to be? Right now getting rid of this scouting hyena, and well, he is getting the relic here, which was... I don't really remember anymore. Let's switch into PokerStar. And yeah, it was better archer trolls at all cost. So that's basically to disallow laior from getting cheaper trolls, which would be a bit of a problem for him. But not really all that much looking at the amount of priests and also the pharaoh in here. So just making sure that his opponent doesn't get any kind of advantage at all. And really looking at this, I'm kinda curious why laior isn't much more aggressive. It's almost like he doesn't really know all that much what to do with the god that he has picked, and he's still building a lot of heresiers, which is what you do with Loki, but he is way too passive, which allows his opponent PokerStar to wall up and prepare for the advance into the next age, as you can see with the armory right now. Eric's not really doing all that much, just now going for obviously the axemen, which are going to be the correct answer, but also very nicely placed spy, or very nicely, we have talked about it a bit earlier, but right now it's paying dividends as those gold villies are tasked to build the town center, and laior will be knowing exactly where to go with those heresiers, but he doesn't seem to be aiming there. He seems to be much more interested in just proper raiding on the right side. Yeah, we have seen that the guys were tasked to the right, yeah, in here, to this hunt, and they will be potentially disrupting the building of this armory. That could be slowing PokerStar down a bit, but not all that much, as obviously. Still, I would be saying that he is having the upper hand in here, especially when he finishes with the TC without any kind of opposition, where he will be covering all the extra hunt in here. And well, this is going to be quite nasty for PokerStar, as obvious, or rather for laior, because obviously, even though he didn't finish the wall in here, yeah, to be raided quite nice, or rather, because he didn't finish the wall in here. He doesn't have any kind of release on the right though, so that's a bit of a luck for him, as he's having basically everything just under his TC. A very nice protection of absolutely all the villages in here, not really any kind of problem for him, but he will be forced to go somewhere else very soon, as those sheep are running out, and as same, it can be said about all those caribous. On the left, he still does have something, so he has potentially to go there, but he was probably hoping that he could go onto those arrows on the right, but that's not going to be happening anytime soon, because without any kind of army in his home base, he cannot defend against what is coming his way. So pretty good map control right now for PokerStar. And there's going to be a bit of a raid-in because of the spy on the foot villies on here, as it seems like that PokerStar was a bit greedy, but it's not going to be mattering all that much, I kind of think, because with the TC right here, he has somewhere to run, and those villagers will be safe just in a matter of moments. Relic also being captured by him, and that was for the better boss, I think, which is definitely going to help him deny his opponent some kind of advantage if he decides to wall himself in, which I kind of think should, because this is not going to be all that hard, especially if he uses this barracks. But, well, yeah, better time it better for next time, because obviously this is not the correct moment for him when he's having the army just on his doorstep. So yeah, that's a bit of extra damage into the release. They are going to be all that much more vulnerable, and one is even dying right off. But otherwise, PokerStar is not much interested in the raiding of his opponent, as well. There's not much to raid in the first place. Right now there could be, But if a laior can finish with the wall, there's not going to be any way through, and he might be just safe with all these willies right inside. Just building second longhouse and armory, so he's thinking that he can advance into the next age sometime soon. With armory not finished for the red player, and is he building it somewhere else? Oh, he isn't, so he has basically given up on the thoughts of advancing into the next age, it seems, as he's recognizing that he needs to just build his walls and also a bit of an army, as he's under some kind of pressure from his opponent, but not really anything substantial. So I would be thinking he will be pretty good, or rather pretty well poised, to go into the next age without all that much of a problem. But oh well, is he actually aware of this, or having resources for the next age? PokerStar, not much. Is he aware of this? Oh, he actually might not be. Might be thinking that there's actually wood right next to the shoreline, or rather next to the map line, which is definitely not true. And this will be a bit of a surprise, as laior might be using that. If he's aware. Well, which he isn't, and he's probably or rather thinking that there's also a bit of a tree line here. But if he actually tried this, he could be running right into the gold miners here without any kind of opposition, and well, that could definitely be a bit of a problem. And yet again, laior is going to be a bit late with building his walls in here, as PokerStar is doing a pretty good job of raiding himself, and yeah, he will run somewhere else, and you will be forced to the gold mine on the left, which is also not safe, as PokerStar will know about it, but at the same time, it's, I kind of thinking, a bit safer than the right side of the map in here, as it's closer to the TC. Well, he should be definitely doing a much better job with the walling in here. So Bragi coming in. 64%, whereas his opponent PokerStar is not advancing yet. There was a bit of raiding, exactly as we have expected, through the backside, as the way that they have gotten there, and well, that seems to be pretty much it, because on the left side the wall is finished for PokerStar without all that much of a problem, and right now he seems to be having a pretty nice map control, and since he is covering this gold mine, which is very crucial for him, he will be in a pretty sweet position to expand somewhere once he advances into the next age. So far though, he's just missing a bit of an army and not building his armory to advance into the next age, but since he has seen that Bragi is right now coming in from laior, well, he might be in a pretty good position to rethink his strategy right now. But this battle seems to be definitely going his way, although he could be doing slightly better micro, especially with the budget against this heresy right now. But at the same time, he seems to be having a pretty good amount of units that he has been amassing, especially those axemen, and laior has taken a battle that he shouldn't have. Relics all at one spot, and definitely pretty good battle for PokerStar, who is having a pretty large army, as he hasn't lost much, and is also basically controlling the frontiers of his opponent. And since those willies are in a pretty bad spot, they might be forced to retreat from here very soon. Still the hunt on the left, so he's not really in a position where he should be resigning anytime soon. The wall will be down in just a matter of moments, and this really seems pretty bad for laior, because right now he's denied basically any kind of town centers, with PokerStar having the advantage already, and there's no way that laior can actually secure either this one or this one, so that's really a bit of a problem for him if PokerStar plays this right, which so far he seems to be. Bit of a raiding attempted by laior, but he's just encountering a bit of a walls from the red player, so there's not going to be anything that he can do about this. PokerStar right now seems to be basically saving resources for his next stage, as he's having almost population limit and doesn't seem to be pumping out enough units, while obviously he's having just 2 barracks, 1 and 2, and he is also finally finishing with the armory, so it's going to be a switch into the next age very soon. And once he has the ancestors, and laior doesn't have proper army of heresiers, well, that could be pretty much it, even without any kind of siege in there. So let's wait for that kind of moment, and ooh, this is not safe. And why is actually laior in here? I just want to see the destruction of the villages right now, because I'm curious why he isn't going for the gold at the bottom. Okay, now let's switch into laior, Pog 4. Oh, he doesn't know about it. Okay, well that sucks for him obviously, because if he did, he definitely would have gone there, but he doesn't know about it, and oh, it's just out of line of sight up for him. Okay, well, that happens, and it definitely sucks for him, because right now laior doesn't think that he has any kind of save gold, and this was a save gold. Even though the boar is here, or rather bear is here, it's not going to be all that much of a difference because it will be easily killed. And he definitely could have gathered quite a lot of gold in here with some very nicely positioned walls. He would have been very easily safe. And well, so far that's not happening. And oh my, these guys are just running all the wrong ways. All the wrong ways and are just going to be killed. It's just a question of time before all this army catches up. Well, that sucks. That sucks for laior big time. And he might be just a bit lucky though, because PokerStar seems to be thinking that he is running somewhere to the left, which would have been the more reasonable action. But well, that's not happening, and due to very nice scouting of, yeah, you can see, that's very sweet. He sees basically the whole map, literally the whole map, whereas his opponent laior, yeah, he's having quite a lot of blind sides on the right side, and he's just not seeing one gold mine and second gold mine. Yeah. Well, that's how important scouting actually is in his game. Well, PokerStar definitely could have done this a bit better. Maybe he could be doing it with the second flank if he actually closes the way in here, but he doesn't seem to be aiming for that. And if he was, he would be a bit of a pickle because of those trolls together with Hersirs, but still, this is no kind of army that could stand against what PokerStar is having right now. I'm going to switch into PokerStar when he's advancing through Neftis. It'll be just a matter of seconds right now, like about 20 seconds off. And once he joins with all the army, well, that's a bit of an overkill, of course, but once he actually joins with the army in once, not having deposited the relic yet, he will be in a pretty good position to push on his opponent quite convincingly, because there's not enough Hersirs, and with proper micro, he could be getting rid of those, and my ancestors will be having a pretty strong push for any kind of buildings in here, and any kind of extra units, like, of course, the trolls in here. So yeah, I kinda think this is exactly what's going to be ensuing in here, as PokerStar is having a pretty good population right now, with the extra animals from his advance, and with the Migdol being prepared to cover this TC, he is basically priming himself for the full Furan attack. This hill fort is definitely going to help laior in the defense of this goal, which is important for him. And does he have some kind of good resources for a TC? Not much, but PokerStar is having resources for jumping to the Mythic. In a market somewhere. No, he isn't, so he seems to be content with just the heroic age and building potentially extra TC, yeah, just about now, and going for basically frontal attack and hoping that he can have enough upgrades and extra help from military buildings that he's right now building. The siege works, and we seem to be heading into the last part of the game, because this seems to be a pretty strong attack from him, and if he can even stop laior from building the TC, which I'm not exactly sure is going to happen, as he might be just a bit too slow,
Great.
He would definitely be on his way to the victory here. So yeah, let's wait for that. This part of the games, rather of the map, still not walled up for that. There's still some kind of way through for a laior if he actually wanted to use that. But well, right now he is just having a look at the TC, which he discovered that is being built, and he's hoping that he can stop it, but once he sees this army, he's going to recognize that that's not going to happen. Heavy Axemen, so pretty nice upgrades for PokerStar, whereas laior is not having anything. Yeah, not much. Frost Cage Roar. Nice name of the Hersir in here. Here, whereas blues are just dying quite fast, yet another Migdol being built to cover the gold, and the battle, yeah, definitely aiming for PokerStar, and let's see if that's going to be something that laior can counter. So far I wouldn't really be thinking so, because with basically 0 losses and PokerStar's siege towers coming into the play here, yeah, this is going to be goodbye Hillfort, and pretty much goodbye, and of Mythic units could be a bit of a problem for PokerStar, and even though he's having a decent amount of freeze here, he will be having, yeah, to do quite a lot of micro in here, which seems to be quite capable of. So, flame weapons together with ancestors, and let's see who emerges victorious. I will be favoring PokerStar at this stage, because obviously with those flaming weapons you need all the extra units in here, and it seems like that the losses for laior are much faster than for his opponent, and yeah, you can see quite a lot of red in here, whereas blues are just dying quite fast, yet another Migdol being built to cover the gold, and the battle, yeah, definitely aiming for PokerStar, and let's see if that's going to be something that laior can counter. So far I wouldn't really be thinking so, because with basically 0 losses. And PokerStar's siege tower is coming into the play here. Yeah, this is going to be goodbye Hillfort, and pretty much goodbye any kind of units, or rather any kind of buildings, right? The TC, all the longhouses on the right side, and yep, laior recognizes that he has lost, and he is resigning right now. So, interestingly played, and really nicely controlled by PokerStar from the very beginning, denying laior any kind of economy in the forefront, and also denying the TC for quite a long while of the game. It's actually laior, at least at the end, seeing the gold in here. Yeah, at least at the end he is, but quite close. But at the end he did see that there was extra gold that he could have used in the early stage. Well, he didn't, and that was also part of a problem, because he went for a very unsafe gold, which was punished by PokerStar quite badly. So let's have a look at the post game. I could also correct the score, as I've forgotten that I actually have it. Score on the merit. Basically in the opposing guard, where laior was able to take advantage of his faster advance, whereas in here PokerStar did. PokerStar winning absolutely everything. Yeah, besides Mythology of course, but that's expected that Loki will win that. Pretty nice advance, and kinda slowish for laior in here. And since both of them, Seth and Loki, are pretty aggressive, it's basically the same situation from last game from the merit. Basically in the opposing guard, where laior was able to take advantage of his faster advance, whereas in here PokerStar did. You can see that PokerStar was having better military for majority of the game, but it's also because of the animals, but still, he was having a pretty good game. But it has to be said that his 15 cents didn't really do anything at all, so it was a bit of a waste. But yeah, that was a bit of a help for a laior, but it wasn't enough to propel him to some kind of victory and strong early aggression. So GG.